Hey you guys, I'm back again with another digital drawing video for you, and this time I'm drawing the Niffler from Harry Potter. As you can see, I have my reference images for inspiration and just for reference. This time I didn't compile like mood boards by myself. All I did was type Niffler into Google and go to Google Images, and it just has this little nice mood board for you already. So grab a screen grab, or if you're going to draw physically, just pull it up on your computer. Be careful not to get distracted and sucked into the computer. But just go ahead and type something in, and Google will make a mood board for you right there. It's super simple. I chose the Niffler because I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. If you guys don't know that about me, now you do. I watched Fantastic Beasts recently, and I remembered how cute the Niffler was, and that I never actually drew my own version. So here it is. Um, as you can see, I started with circles. I've said in previous videos, and I'll keep saying it, if you want something cute, start with a nice round circle. Generally, I don't keep it a perfect circle. You can see his body I kind of squished into an oval. There's something about perfect circles that seems really unnatural, and since he's kind of something that's supposed to exist in nature, I decided to change that up a little bit. I think it makes him look a little bit less, what would you say, geometric. So, and here we go. I tried a little bit of a different method with this one. I kind of shaded everything in a basic black and white before I went in and started adding color and stuff. And it really helped me get a sense of kind of the shape and form that I wanted and that I was going for. This only works digitally, however, there's not really a great process for doing this manually. So maybe that's helpful, maybe it's not. At this point, I'm loving how he turned out. There are still a couple features that I'm unsure about, especially this foot in the front, those splayed out toes. They draw your attention really strongly, and that's something that I want you to pay attention to. Especially in this one, is we're gonna work on where your attention is focused. So there are a lot of things that can contribute to this. You can do it with the level of finished that different areas of your drawing are. It can be adding a pop of color somewhere to draw somebody's eye. It can be little bright flashes. It seems like bright colors and bright lights tend to draw the eye faster. So those are some things that you can pay attention to. But as we're going through, I'm still just blocking in the general shape. When you're redrawing things, I hesitate to say trace. Honestly, what I'm doing on here would normally be something that I would do tracing on a light table. I would draw it the first time. Once I have an idea of what I want, I would redraw it onto a new piece of paper. The important thing is never to just trace. You always want to question what you've done and question if that's really what you want. And so it's really a matter of constantly redrawing and not really tracing it over and over again. Because, I mean, why are you tracing the exact same thing that you just did, right? Unless it's to clean it up a little bit. So continue to question your design decisions. And you can see now I've splashed in some color. This reddish brown I'm not totally sure about. That's why I'm warming it up a little bit up here at the top so that the red looks a little bit more like shadow than it does the actual color. I'm going to go in with some semi-flesh colored feet. I actually pulled these colors. I am just grabbing from my palette, but normally I would actually pull up a picture of the Niffler and pull the colors right from a photograph. That's how I prefer to get my color schemes, but for the Niffler, I know he's very, very dark, and I wanted to light him up a little bit. Right here you can see I'm having second thoughts about how I want that foot to be. Those spikes right in the front were really pulling too much attention. I would rather you go to his face or to the coin in his hands. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull them in so that they kind of point toward the center a little bit. That way it'll kind of follow the curve of his foot, and it'll kind of blend in a little bit more. I have to change this other foot to match, of course. But then I'm going to put those back in, and I'm actually going to finish them a lot less than I did before, so they don't stand out quite as much. In an effort to draw focus to more the center of him with the coin and his face, I'm going to finish those up a little bit more thoroughly. Just putting a little bit of color and a little bit of shine into the coin. So fun thing about shiny things is they're all just variations of light and dark. So if you want something to shine, you want really hard highlights, and you'll see, I think I put another highlight into there, into the coin a little later on. I really like the look of it kind of being a little bit sketchy. That's why I've done it in this pencil. And that's why I'm not being super careful as I go through and block in these little thin lines around his hands and such. Something that we'll talk about in a later video is line width. So you can see I go around the outside every now and then and just hit it with a hard black line. It's kind of a style preference. Some people don't do any hard lines. They just go from color to color, and that creates a far more realistic effect. But one thing that lines can do and are very nice for is separating them from the background. So the harder the line you put around the outside, the more it looks like they stand off the page and don't belong with their background. So especially with things like this where it's on a white background, you can see around the base especially, I'm adding a thicker, darker line. What that's going to do is look like there's a little bit of a shadow around the bottom. So as you can see, anytime two areas touch, so like his hand to his stomach or his hand to the coin, I'm going to add a little bit of shadow. That's just something that happens when two objects come close to each other. They interfere with what light is getting there, and so that's something that you can always expect and always look for toward the end of your drawing is whether two objects are touching each other. And you can add a little bit of simple shadowing around there, and it's amazing what just that will do to your picture. You can see the little bit of texture I'm kind of adding into here. It's kind of a little bit of a dotted. Once again, here's a little bit of shadowing. And what my picture is missing now, so now I've gotten some dark darks, I need some light lights. So I need somewhere on here to have a almost perfect white. So you learn in photography that a perfectly exposed photograph has a black and it has a bright white. So you want to find that balance somewhere so that you have the entire spectrum. So to finish up, I am just going to go ahead and add in these little highlights, these little flares. They're going to be my whites. And that's pretty much going to wrap it up for me. Oh yeah, I decided to add this in here at the end. I'm going to delete that and start over in just a minute. I've told you about these before. I don't know where I got it from and why I do it, but little speech bubbles with pictures in them. They have a soft spot in my heart for some reason. So I'm going to add a little something in. And it's always something that I could crop out or delete later if I don't want, so I never have it intersecting with my picture very much, so that I can get rid of that. I hope you guys like this. I hope you love the Niffler. Feel free to share, like, subscribe. If I get a certain number of subscribers, it helps me create better content. YouTube unlocks some features for me, so I encourage you to do that if you want to see more and better content. Thank you so much, and I look forward to being with you again next time. Bye.